digital nomad overnight, right? But I think there's a lot more to it, and this trend of remote work is only going to grow, right? So yeah, I mean, we could do more videos.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, totally. Yeah, and that could be another topic is just as far as digital nomad, does that mean that you have to travel all the
travel all
time?
the time. Yeah,
Like, do
yeah.
you have to work on a beach? Do you have to be in Chiang Mai and
In
do you have to
Bali,
impair it?
in
I don't know.
Bali, in Bali. Everyone's in
Bali,
Bali.
Bali, yeah. Bali,
Yeah,
and
all digital nomads. Like Bali has nomad houses. I mean, that's crazy. You paid like top dollar to go live in a fancy uh, villa with like digital nomads, and it's great. I mean, if you can afford that, it's amazing. Like lucky you. But that's not the way
right.
to go to become a digital nomad, right? Like you can't just go have a crazy holiday, like do yoga and meditation, and just become a nomad overnight.
Uh, yeah.
It's a lot of work, and every day being in a routine, like fuck routine, like just being able to be productive every day. Um, it's not easy, you know.
Oh
There's
yeah.
so many external factors. I mean, I actually, and it's also very different for people who come from different regions, right? Being a digital nomad is, or whatever, doing remote work is much easier for someone living in the US or Europe, because, and I've actually lived in both of those countries for like, I've lived in the US for 2 months, and I've lived in Europe for a month and a half, so I know, right? It's very different, and it's very different doing it from India, because like there's so many external hindrances. Weak internet is one of the biggest hindrances, being a remote worker in India.
Right.
um, like some of my official webinars have gotten jacked because of poor internet. So there are a lot of things that people forget before. People just have the rosy picture of working from a beach, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
not the
yeah,
case.
for sure. It's interesting too about like Thailand, or Bali is like I think maybe it
Right.
started with like being really like cheap and that's how people
It
started
is.
going, but now it's not even cheap anymore because it became such a thing that
Yeah.
like you can get all decked out and spend top dollar for these like digital nomad resorts or whatever. And then it's
Right.
just like, wait, like are you on vacation or like I mean, that's fine if
Yeah.
you just want to like hang out and like enjoy life. I'm sure it's a lot of
It's
fun.
amazing. It's
But
great, and you should do it if you can. If you can do it, you should do it.
yeah,
But yeah,
yeah, yeah. Hey, so I'll see you in Bali in a few days. Let's meet up, right? See you on the
yeah,
beach.
sure. I mean, I'm definitely going to Bali next year. Like I
Oh,
wanted to go this
really?
year, but I chose. So I had a choice between Bali and Prague, so I chose Prague.
You
Um,
chose Prague.
yeah. Well,
Okay. What? Why?
I don't
Because
know.
that's where the company is, or
Well, not only that. That was one of the perks, because the company was there and I could really meet everyone in person. It was the first time I was going, so it was great.
okay.
But my wife and I, we always wanted to go to Prague and see Europe, and Bali is nearby, like it's close to India, right? So
True.
we can
Okay.
always go to Bali.
Oh, okay. So Prague was like almost more exotic for you, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely, it was.
Cool.
Yeah, of course, completely, because Bali is a lot like Goa, right? We've been to Goa a ton of times, and Bali is just like Goa. It's just maybe cheaper than Goa. It's definitely cheaper than Goa. Goa is not cheap at all. So
Hmm.
the weather is similar. The culture is exactly our culture. Like Bali is the only country in Indonesia that has I think 80% Hinduism. So it's full of Hindus, right?
Hmm.
Um, and so culture wise, it would be very familiar for us, right? Weather wise, it would be like just almost the same weather. So yeah,
Okay.
Prague was amazing for us, and we loved it. I mean, it's such a livable place. I mean, Berlin is great too, but Berlin is not for. It's just it's too hectic. Berlin is
Yeah.
hectic, and
Yeah.
it's expensive as fuck. It's so expensive. Like
It's
I don't
definitely it
know.
used to be cheap. It's not like it's Munich or something, or it's not like Paris or London, but it's definitely
Sure.
the prices are getting
Like
up there.
yeah, you
Yeah.
go to Berlin from Prague, and suddenly you're just paying so many times more. And Prague has a perfect balance of being like a big city where you get everything. You have all kinds of party places, etc. But it's not like overly crowded. Of course, it has a touristy part, which is always crowded, fine, but there's so much more to Prague that people don't explore because most people go there as tourists. So I don't blame them.
I've only been there once years ago as a tourist. I still have this like kind of I don't know why I still remember this. It's so stupid. Like they have these like the tourist things, like the fake guards that you take your picture with them and you have to pay them €2.
Well, no one likes those, but it's okay for those who are just going as tourists. But as a digital nomad, you got to go explore a city, right? And while I shouldn't be saying this about Berlin because I was there as a tourist, I was there just for 3 days. But we didn't do anything touristy as such. I had a friend living there, and we just, she showed us what she does on a regular day, her university, etc. But Prague has so much more. Like if you just forget about the touristy stuff, there's so much to do, and it's such a livable place because it's cheap. Like I'm coming from India, and I'm saying it's cheap, but like so many things are even cheaper than in India. It's crazy. Like buying food, groceries,
cheaper than really
cheaper than India. Yeah, India is not cheap. People have this notion India is really not cheap anymore, right? Prague was like we were like in heaven, man. Like beer is like 1/3 the price of
That's
what
true.
It is in India.
Yeah, beer, yeah, for sure. We should get a beer in Prague together. Let's go.
So I'm going next year. Like I've made up my mind that while India is going to be my home base because we have family and everything here, I'm going to take at least two such trips where I go and live in a country for at least a month.
Yeah.
And of course travel around. So and yeah, my wife and I, we both love Prague so much, nice. and we have friends there now. So we just want to keep going back,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I would love to visit as well. Anyway, I don't want to keep you. I know we've been kind of just chatting for a while. So I also want to tell you, by the way, you might hate me, but we don't have to use this. Just in case, I made a third video. So I'm actually recording this right now.
Ahead. No, go ahead, man. I have no.
This could be like the bonus role, like talking about destinations, and that's one thing I haven't really done yet. Is I've talked about all kinds of topics, but I haven't talked about specific locations. So that's kind of cool. People ask about that sometimes.
Sure, I can talk about India. India can be a great place for people to come and work, especially when they're coming from Europe or the US, because for them it'll be like really cheap. Of course, like cheaper than most other places. Maybe not cheaper than Bali, but there's some great locations in India that are perfect for,
we should do a video next time on India. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
It doesn't definitely India. I think is definitely overrated, and you just hear a lot about like people say, oh, it's so dirty, and you hear a lot of some negative things. But I think it would be great to hear.
I'm not denying it. It is dirty, but not every part. Not every street corner is dirty, right? There are dirty places, but then there are clean places.
Right.
There are pristine. There's everything. India is not one country. I tell people you can think of India as many different countries. If you're in the southern part of India and then you go to north of India, nothing is the same. And everything changes. The language changes. The people, the way they look changes.
Yeah.
The food changes. The culture changes. The weather changes. Like it's crazy, right? So we can do another video.
That would be great because I would love to have your, a local, real resident's perspective because I just have heard from people who have visited, with mixed experiences. I mean, there's some really good things I've heard too, but you would have definitely a better viewpoint on that. So.
Of course, sure.
All right.
Cool. So it was nice, great chatting with you, Jordan, and I'd love to keep doing this every once in a while. It's great for me also, and I wish you the best with your channel. I'll also, of course, share everything you do. I'll try to follow you as much as I can.
Thank you. Likewise. Yeah. I'm gonna keep an eye on your blog. That's a blog, right? That you had that website.
It's just my Medium page.
Oh, Medium, right? Okay.
So I actually write articles for Integromat also. So eventually you'll see these articles published in the Integromat blog.
Cool.
So and of course I write my own stuff also there. So I don't really have a personal blog. I just maintain a Medium page, and I think it's just easier to do that.
Yeah, that works too. I actually was doing Medium for my own YouTube thing. I was doing like one post every single day, how I'm trying new things on YouTube. And then I realized that was just taking up so much time because I wasn't really publicizing it. I was doing it more to keep myself motivated. and it did work for that purpose. But after a while, I was just like, why am I doing this? I have so much more things I could be, that I am doing, and and it was just too much. But I do want to go back to that in some way. Having some kind of blog or website is like always a good thing.
No, sure. If you're doing this like almost like a full time or whatever, like a side project, it's of course important to have your own blog. It can help you make money, but Medium is just a great place to kind of it's just another channel to kind of build your audience. That's all, and you can actually have a widget to kind of collect email IDs of people who read your articles.
Right.
So that helps in your list building also.
Yeah, no, I do. Email marketing is a whole nother topic. I don't even want to start talking about because that's my day job, my full-time job. I do email marketing support. So yeah, I know. Don't get me started.
We can keep chatting. Yeah, no, we can keep chatting, but let's do it another time. And
all right, cool.
Let me know once this video is up. And if you need me to send you the recording, let me know. I guess I have them all, but just in case.
Okay, I appreciate that. Cool.